Hello and welcome to Pressmax TV. Today I want to talk about the coronavirus, the dreaded coronavirus. Now, we're all used to the data around deaths and the R rates and lockdowns here and lockdowns there, but what I want to discuss is something a bit brighter. As you can see on the screen, we have the three providers of the vaccine. That's AstraZeneca in partnership with Oxford University, Pfizer and Moderna. So what I want to get into in this video is really talking about how these vaccines will be administered and what you'll be able to do once you've had the vaccine, potentially any restrictions around your movements, which we hope that there will not be, but there's signs that there will be, and what the future looks like, going into next year. Okay, so as I mentioned, we have the three vaccines here, and there are some key differences between them. So if we look at the effectiveness of the vaccines, you'll see that Pfizer, well, let's start with AstraZeneca, has an effectiveness rate of 95% or thereabouts. So that's the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. So that's 95%. Moderna is also 95%, which is the third vaccine. And Oxford is 62% effective. However, when the dose is halved, it's 90% effective. So Oxford AstraZeneca is 62% effective. However, if they halve the dose, it's 90%, which is, it's a little bit strange. Anyway, that's clearly in third place. Then you have Moderna, which is 95% effective, and is it Pfizer? Yep, which is 95% effective. So, it seems to me that Oxford AstraZeneca have rushed out their findings. They've rushed out the final phase of this vaccine. Now, clearly, a lot of these pharmaceutical companies were working for quite some time on these vaccines, and there's clearly a lot of upside to be had from being the first person to come out with this vaccine. I mean, you as a company, you're going to make billions and billions of dollars, which is fantastic. However, we want to make sure it's correct, right? We want to make sure that we're not poisoning people. We want to, typically medical trials take a very long time. Several years of study, different control groups, animal study, human testing. This takes a long time. Trump initiated the Project Warp Speed, I believe it's called, and gave a huge influx of cash to the pharma companies and really stressed the importance of releasing the vaccine and developing the vaccine as soon as possible. Unfortunately for him, it was released just after the election, so he wasn't able to benefit from any boost off the back of news that the vaccine was being released. But look, this has been a very quick process. So personally, I will not be taking a vaccine. I'm pretty sure I've had COVID-19 already, as many of my kind of colleagues and friends are. And our view is we've been taking our vitamin D, vitamin C, various multivitamins and minerals, eating well, trying to boost the immune system with exercise, and so on. And we've most likely developed some level of immunity to it. Taking a vaccine which has been rushed out in this way is not something I'm looking forward to doing. However, if you are in high risk group, completely makes sense. If you, if you're in a high risk group, or if you're particularly worried about contracting coronavirus, potentially a vaccine does make sense. But now I want to move on to the reason why you've clicked on the video, and that's this idea of people being restricted based on the fact that they have chosen not to take the vaccine. So it sounds like something from um, a Nazi Germany time. However, it's I can assure you it's very much current and of the moment. So here we're looking at the Qantas CEO, and he is basically, so Qantas is the largest airline in Australia. It's the flag carrying airline for Australia, the national carrier. And the CEO has basically said, once the vaccines are available, only people who have taken the vaccine will be able to fly on his airline, Qantas. So, we're not sure about the rules around this, whether they'll be able to enforce this or not. But as he is saying, and as Qantas is a private company, these are their rules. Arguably, it's in the best interest of the consumer. It's in the health interest of the consumer as well. So, it's perfectly permissible that they should be able to do a move like this. So if you're like me, and you've already had COVID-19 and you're pretty sure you've got immunity because you've overcome it, and you don't want to take a vaccine that has literally just been rushed to market. Now, I'm not saying it's faulty. I have no evidence of that. I'm not doubting their results. I have no reason to doubt their results. But my personal preference, based on the fact that I believe I've already had the virus, and based on the fact that, touch wood, I've come out of the virus, I will not be opting to take a vaccine. So, the Qantas CEO here is basically saying, I won't be allowed on his airline. As you can see, this will be a global requirement. So the question is this the trend, or is this one business? If we look at the Daily Mail, we can see UK's COVID vaccine minister suggests bars, cinemas and football stadiums could ban Brits who haven't had a jab. He admits number 10 is looking at immunity passports. So again, we can see it's not quite a one-off with Qantas. Actually, there's a theme here, and the theme is wherever people are congregating in public in a private establishment, it looks like the establishments may be favouring this immunity passport approach. And I suppose from their perspective, they're hedging themselves against the future lockdown. If they can be completely sure that all of their patrons have been vaccinated, then there would be no need to close down the establishment. And no doubt, lockdowns have wreaked havoc on the retail industry in particular, hospitality, clearly travel, leisure. And so as much as these businesses would want to get as many people in as possible, at the same time, they don't want another lockdown. So they want to make sure it's very clear and very obvious to all of the government officials that everybody is safe, essentially. So, but again, it's somewhat stripping away our autonomy, which I'm not necessarily a fan of. If I choose not to take the vaccine, which is a virus in itself, just a more latent form. If I choose not to take it, that's my choice. Should it be the case that I am blocked from going to football matches, banned from going to pubs, stripped of all ability to mobilize and socialize because of my choice, that doesn't really seem correct, to be honest. If we now move over to the BBC, so today is the 1st of December, and Michael Gove has stated there is no plan for a vaccine passport. His wording is interesting. Whenever a politician speaks, pay close attention to the wording. He said no plan. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen in the future. It doesn't mean that something... how is he defining vaccine passport? This is the issue, because if we scroll down, you see somewhere he mentions using technology. So asked on Monday whether people who get the COVID-19 jab would receive some kind of immunity passport to show they've been vaccinated. Mr. Zahawi told the BBC, "We are looking at technology and, of course, a way of people being able to inform that their GP that they have been vaccinated." But also, I think you'll probably find that restaurants and bars and cinemas and other venues, sports venues, will probably also use that system, as they have done with the Test and Traced app. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It is looking highly likely, regardless of what Mr. Gove says, that there will be a track and trace system for people who have been vaccinated. And if you want to have any semblance of a normal life, if you want to be able to socialize and get out in society and make up for all of this lost 2020, it looks like you're going to have the jab. Okay, so that's it for now. We're a new channel. If you've liked what you've heard, subscribe. I'll see you again tomorrow with more business news, politics news, and current affairs. Share the content, like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.